There we go. Unmuted. What up? Farming YouTube title stream may be nice. Lol. Let me see. Yeah, we're just farming, you know, chilling, making currency, seeing what we want to build next. I have no idea. I haven't been on PoE all day. I have installed Deadlock, and I'm just playing around with. I was playing around with the game and seeing like how good it is and all of that. I've only played one game, and I can, or two, and I can tell you I absolutely suck at it. But you know that's how it is with every MOBA. Nothing like a post-school nap, yo. Those things hit different. They hit very different. When you wake up and you forget what year it is, and you just feel confused, like, huh? What happened? Am I alive? Double AA farming. One game or two, 4 hours later, I can stop when I want. Yo, but you can't stop on the loss. Them's the rules. You can't stop on a loss. So if you keep losing, you gotta keep playing. I don't make the rules. I just follow them. Okay, you can't. But I don't play Factorio. I mean, I can't blame you. There's many games like that. I have Valdos. I have 10. So why is it 10 for 10? This is my problem with trade sometimes. What the hell is this? Why is it giving me 1-to-1 when the average rating is like 1.4? So in reality, I should be charging 14 for these, 11 for 15, 16. Yeah, something like this. 12 to 17. Oh, I don't have 12. Meh, I'm gonna do 14 to 10. I don't think there's a ratio I can actually do. 15 and 11. Nope, that's too cheap. 14 10. All right, I'll do this. But yeah, the game looks fun. I've actually just checked out a video or two just to see, like, you know, what the fuck is going on with your item system. Like, I have zero idea like what the hell was going on there. We could also check it on stream if y'all want towards the end, do like half and half PoE and that, just so I can be a noob on stream and y'all can, if you have experience, you know, let me know what the fuck I'm doing or what the fuck I did wrong, I guess. But yeah, it's an interesting experience going into a new game, I would say. I like it. Meanwhile, I also spent some time on the POB for my elemental chains of command. You know, one thing I noticed looking around, people just don't care about defenses. Like, I'm putting all these efforts. I'm at 34 mil. And I would say my defenses are fine. I would like to have more fizz max hits. Chaos, we're not going to bother with that because it's just gear, and I know that I have enough gear. But I actually don't know this. I will have to switch out this for Ancient Skull. But then the question is, like, you know, Giant Slayer and Feeding Frenzy. Or, you know, or we could go Ancient Skull, big damage, and Empower, plus No Despair. Where are my gloves at? Where's Despair at? Oh, no Frostbite, rather. This is more DPS. Okay. So in that case, my gloves would then be rare. Yeah, that sounds about right. My gloves would be rare. That fixes my resistances. Okay, cool. So anyways, as I was saying, it feels like people just don't care about defense. It's like I look online and everybody's like ZDPS, ZHP, mega damage, 100 mil DPS, and I'm like, yeah, but I mean, if that monster farts at you the wrong way, bro, you dead. Like, you dead. You dead. Defense is for people without mage blood or grand spectrum plus 1 minute charge. Where's the lie? Oh, holy shit! Where's the fucking lie? But yeah, I'm just trying to fix this build's defense. I have no idea. Like, this build's defense is fine, I should say, but I'm trying to pull out more damage from the build while not giving up on the defense. Pretty much. Give me a second. Okay, I'm back. Petrified Blood Progenesis, Blood Notch. I am using Blood Notch in this setup. It's not my main. I don't want it to be. I don't want to make a defense that's all about Blood Notch, but it relies on Blood Notch. You know, that's kind of the idea. It's the same. It's the same one I have with my in-game character. I'm using Blood Notch, and it's a core part of my defenses, but it's not the entire defense. I don't have block, but I have good PDR. I used to have some max res, not anymore. I have armor. I have endurance charges. I have these other layers on top of blood notch. That's kind of what I'm shooting for. If I go petrified blood, I am 100% going to be what's it called here? Yeah, I'm probably, if I go petrified blood, then I'm 100% relying on the blood notch, and then I would still need a life flask like this, but this one is nowhere near as good for what I need it to be. So I would need a different life flask, which would replace my gold flask or some other flask here. And I don't like petrified blood on anything that's not a pathfinder. So long as it caps when this is full, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Just don't forget to. Oh yeah, no. I've been on this character for a while. Like I can't forget that. I've not. I don't even have the stun and block recovery, but I did remove it because of the main. You cannot be stunned. +2 max res. I know. I'm very aware of it. It's imbalance guard. This guy over here. 1, 2. I know. I don't do any of that, and the reason I don't do any of that is because jewel sockets are precious. For this character in particular, there's no jewel socket space. This guy here is because of blood notch to make it so freezing hits don't just absolutely wreck me. So that's the reason we have this wheel. But with this wheel, we also have the added benefits of we have the added benefits of not needing as high of a roll on immutable force, even though we have the breakpoint immutable force. With this roll, it's like, you know, I had this before I had this, so makes sense. I'm not gonna buy a worse one just to prove that I don't need it. Anyways, so this character is currently using blood notch. There is some max res here I could also mess around with, but I don't. Current messing around with armor, messing around with armor, some max res, some auras, yada yada. That's how this character's defenses work. I want to say there is a universe where I run Sublime Vision, Purity of Thunder, and I convert all the damage I take into chaos and lightning, and that would help me mitigate elemental damage more. But right now I'm more worried about a lack of block. If there's any one thing I'm worried about, it's a lack of block, and specifically spell block. What do I mean? If I could get, let's say, this wheel, right? I wouldn't have more DPS. These are where my points are going as I level up, by the way. This wheel is pretty big for poison. But anyways, I digress. Having block would cover up my ass in my build's weakest defensive layer. That is small hits that are weak, that are not strong enough to stun me. Those hits that are too weak to stun me but fast enough to be deadly. Like, what's the breakpoint for immutable? 961%, I believe, or is it 964? 961. That's the breakpoint. So at 961, you can get this breakpoint from all you need is all your sources of increased stun and block recovery to hit 961. And I think what then happens is you cannot be stunned for more than a game tick or something along those lines. So you just want to get 961. So like I have 50% and 30%, 80%. So then my actual breakpoint for immutable would then be something like 800 and what? 800 and I want to say, my brain isn't working, so I'm gonna go with 76. I want to say that, but I'm just gonna do 961 minus 50 minus 80. 881. I was wrong. But yeah, that is the rule I would need on immutable force to hit the last breakpoint. But I have it all in here, so effectively, this is doing nothing but the regen portion, which is still, I mean, still good. But anyways, the defensive layers of this build are blood notch for the recovery, immutable force so I don't feel those stunning hits. We have minion defenses because we can't have our AG dying. Our AG has around 900, 800k max hits, and he's regenerating like 70k per second. So he's golden. He can't die. He's immortal. Defensive layering, we have flask uptime. We have flash charges gained here for uptime on our progenesis. We don't have any random flash charges gained, but we do summon a whole lot of like enemy monsters with penance mark, which we then kill and get flash charges to then use on a progenesis slash whatever else. You know, that's a thing. Then what else is there? Then we have just life max, some max fire res from our boots. I should change this max fire res. I have no idea why I'm scaling max fire res in particular. This was because of my initial state where I was going Mahozotel and converting all my damage to chaos and fire. Well, I quickly realized that was just not conducive. If you want to convert to elemental, just go lightning or cold. Mahozotel is not worth it. Like, having your health not regen from any sources except leech is rough, especially on a poison build like this, where the hit damage is not so strong that one hit from a sword just props you up a lot of health via like instant leech. So like, it's maybe on non-poison builds it could be, you know, strong. It could be something to look to do, because you just gain 5 max res easy while you're running Mahozotel and yada yada. Like, you can, no stress. Mahozotel was also the reason I decided to go Eldritch Battery, but right now I'm very comfortable with Eldritch Battery. I don't want to remove it. But yeah, those are my defensive layers. For the most part, while I'm mapping, Progenesis never falls off because of this node. I don't run reduced flash charge maps anymore. I don't bother with them. But yeah, I would say this character has really good max hits, and I would say it has very good sustained recovery after getting hit. It also, of course, has PDR was important to me, so I got flat PDR and I also got a lot of armor. Right now we're sitting at 28k armor without any conditionals. So once we pop our armor and some more armor, where's granite? Oh, we dropped our granite flask for gold flask, so we don't even have the granite flask. You can imagine. If I had to actually go for a T17 setup, I would probably use a granite flask instead of this. If you have enough DPS, it's enough. I do have enough DPS. My biggest problem right now is it's not even a problem, to be fair. Like I keep saying it's a problem. It's not a problem, but I would say the biggest thing is, why do I feel like I'm lagging a bit? But yeah, like I can comfortably eat ice novas from strong boxes, which are pretty. Ooh, that's a nice way to start the day. Take it. I can eat ice novas from strong boxes, which are somewhat deadly. Not even somewhat, they are pretty deadly. I can eat Yup, there's the lag. I knew I wasn't bugging. I can eat DD from strong boxes within reason. I'm not out here trying. I've learned not to fish for the DD, but if I happen to eat it, I eat it. It is what it is. It's most times it's not gonna kill me unless there was like a lot of density there. So there's a lot of corpses and stuff. What is going on? Why the hell am I lagging? You know what this is? This is the point where I potentially close Steam, because typically the culprit of this is Steam. Because let's close Steam in case it decided this is the time it wants to update any games. And let's see if that helps. But yeah, this is clear wise, I'm chilling. Single target, I'm chilling. Like, there isn't really any situation I have issues with, except like the only situation I have any problems with is T17s, and the reason I have any issues with T17 is like it's not even an issue per se. It's just certain map mods are painful on this build. For example, grasping vines. I have never given it a second thought on any other build. On this one, I don't know if it's this one in particular or if it just became painfully like obvious how bad it is. But you get hit by absolutely anything, and my build is, you know what it is? I think I know what it is. On my main character, on the defilers, not defilers, frostbearers, I block a lot. So whenever I run grasping vines on myself or my minions, we would block a lot collectively. And because we're blocking a lot collectively, we are not getting hit by the grasping vines. Because it said grasping vines on hit, but I would wager it's unsuccessful, like when it does on damaging hits, right? This build is designed not to have any block per se, but rather it has good recovery. So when you get, you know, peppered by a bunch of when you get hit by a bunch of small hits, you just recover. You're not blocking, but you're actually not taking any damage. Your life pool stays up. That's kind of how the build is designed. So because of that, and because we aren't using bone offering, minions also get hit a whole lot more. And as such, when I run into grasping vines, my minions are just out there struggling. They're struggling to move. Like, they are genuinely struggling to move. So that might be a map mod that I should be switching into bone offering for. That might be the play. And honestly, bone offering for T17s might just be the play, because Their biggest issue right now has just been... Their biggest issue has been... Who's alive? It has been surviving the big slams, or surviving to the point where they get to max numbers. So like they can have 14 of them. You can have 14 of them, and trying to ramp up to all 14 of them in a T17 map can be rough depending on the mob, because if there's like some big AoE, nope, we don't take minus PDR. If there's a big AoE mob that does good damage, like, what by good damage I mean like lightning orb. Lightning orb hits a lot and it chains among them and it does a lot of damage to them. But if you add a little bit of block in that scenario, you then avoid a good chunk of that damage, and they should, in theory, be able to keep themselves alive just through some dying. So, you know, maybe that's the play. Just have a swap with my offering. It's not like it's any big deal. They're both blue. I'm gonna give it a try. I want to see what my damage looks like with bone offering. PoE.sale. I'm gonna run a T17 right now. I'll go with ziggurats. Are there any corrupted? Yeah, you're like corrupted, so get out of here. What about you? Okay, nothing. Cool. Bone offering, I believe. Okay, I'm gonna just open. I will open my Forge Frostbearers, and I am going to see what my settings for bone offering was. 2023. Okay. I always check this because for some of them, the effect of offering does more than the extra level. So like in this case, you go 37, 36. One extra level, it just increases one for spell block. But by going three into quality, you end up with, I think, one more point for both of these. And I can actually show this with the Unlucky's Falling. I'm gonna throw the Unlucky's Falling here. This Falling shows my actual block chance. And so like you see, I lost one spell block there. One, but if I were to go this, okay, so it looks like actually the same. It's not enough to boost my AD, it looks like. It's probably just because of the +4 I have here, so it might be worth POBing with this build in particular. T17. Because with Flesh Offering, I think I was better off with what, 2120? I didn't check. So let's see. AG weapon. Bone offering. Where's your block chance? 40, 39. So let's do real quick. 21, 20, 40, 39. So it's 40, 40. Cool. If I did the same thing. 41, 39. So if I go to the quality, they end up with one more attack block. But if I go one level, they end up with more spell block. Right now, the thing to worry about is spell block. So that's what I'm gonna do. So you have to go first. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it. Hope you have a good rest of your day. I tank with honor and 150 move speed. I actually have a clip of T17 Katarina that was very, very I couldn't move, but I was eating everything, so like that was good. Arcane. So our charge stacking minion is just dead with the other unique helmet. Yes. That's the TLDR. It's a yes. The real answer is like no, but kind of. I'll explain. With charge stacking, you're losing your helmet. Now this helmet, depending on the build, is very, very important. What do I mean? With this helmet, you can be going in my case, my most contentious thing is where are you? In my case specifically, +1, nothing, +3, nothing. I guess that's why I went 2020. Anyways, in my case specifically, I'm contemplating Ancient Skull, right? Ancient Skull outperforms charge stacking until probably a certain amount of investment into charges. Now, what investment do you need to put into charges? Well, you have to put your shield to get +2 power charges. You need to invest your tree to get +3. You need to invest your amulet to also get frenzy charges. And then you need to invest your boost to get Ralakesh. That's a lot of investment just for it to compete with Ancient Skull. Now let's look at the alternative. I don't have to charge stack with this. I'm just getting 2 minion skill levels. I'm getting life. I'm getting a shit ton of armor. Getting attributes, resistances, as you know, everything I could potentially need. I'm getting just like that. If I didn't, whereas wasn't going this and I was going Spectres, it's competing with Wraith Lord. If I'm going with what other kind of minion is there? There's very few situations that you would find a minion that is better off with all the extra charges than the alternative. Because think about it, when you charge stack, you're using a Malachai's loop for +2 power and frenzy charges, assuming Badge of the Brotherhood. The problem with this is your shield looks like this if you're not going that setup. You have 90% increased minion damage here. You have +1 level of minion skill gems. Levels equal to like what, 12% more damage, something like that on a typical minion build. Not necessarily my current build, but typical minion builds. You're losing the life here. Look, you're losing minion defenses and or minion offenses because this can also roll minion crit chance. This can roll minion resist. This can roll minion max res. All important stats. You're losing out on your boots. Your boots could have movement speed. Oh, it could have movement speed. Yes, Ralakesh doesn't have movement speed. Disgusting. You're losing Eldritch Implicit here, which is big chance to avoid bleeding. With my boots currently, I'm getting bleed immunity, and I could easily get shock, Storm Shroud ailment immunity if I go the Storm Shroud route. I'm losing that. I'm losing my amulet. My amulet is a big slot. It gives me an extra gem socket for my body, or I could use it for an extra aura, or I could use it for defenses, or I could use it for Jinx Juju defenses. But most likely, these are my preferences for amulet: Unetals or All's Uprising. No in between. Or wait, there's one more. Replica Dragon Fang, which is 3 levels on a typical minion build. That would be very strong too. So like it's competing with Unetals, Replica Dragon Fang, and All's Uprising for the amulet slot. And you're doing all of this just to give your minions the extra stats, 4% more damage and attack, and 4% increased attack cast speed, as well as 50% increased crit chance. No crit multi, nothing. That's it. All of that investment just for 50% increased crit chance, 4% more damage, and 4% increased attack cast speed. Do you see the problem? Now if you had to go Devourer of Minds, Badge of the Brotherhood, and just pick up power charges, and you leave it at that, that could work, but then you would still need Ralakesh. And the reason you would need Ralakesh is if you don't, you're going to need if you don't go Ralakesh, then what you're going to need is you will need some source of power charge generation for the helmet to actually give them. Oh, you're looking for my build? I can, if you want Edvard, I can send this current POV. Generate share. But yeah, I don't have it in the command. I tend to switch builds around a lot, so I stopped using the build command. That's the reason I don't use the build command. But anyways, what was I saying? Yes, you need a source of power charge gen, you need a source of frenzy charge gen, and you also need the source of endurance charge gen. And it's like, okay, cool, but what if you then decide to not go badge with the Brotherhood? Well, if you don't go badge with the Brotherhood, then you have no real reason to stack charges per se. And if you're not stacking charges, why even give them your charges? Do you just want to combine it with Ralakesh so they have 3 permanent charges? Well, you could just do it. You could just do that and have a host shifting and a carnage shifting, providing power and frenzy charges to them directly without the need for the helmet slot. And of course, you can also throw in a perfect warlord for endurance charges, and your trio is complete. Like, you could just do that. So if you're going the helmet, it makes no sense to not stack charges. And if you're going to stack charges, that is where the problems come in. Does that make sense? Like, I am so pressed for points on my current build that I can't even imagine trying to fit in power charge here, anoint here to get just power charge benefits. I would have to make it worth the points I'm taking from other places, which would be, if it's going to be taken from here, then it might as well be giving me +1 power and frenzy charge, because then it's worth it. But then that's my amulet slot. Cool. And then you see, it just keeps getting worse. Now, if they said minions shared your max charges and minions were considered to be at your max charges, so you didn't have to use Ralakesh, then we're talking, because then your boots would be free and your amulet would then need to be like, it's then only your amulet and your helmet slots that are in contention. You can then just go amulets, helmets, gets like 5 charges, and you're good to go. You know, you could do something like that. You'd have 5 power charges, 5 frenzy charges, and 3 endurance charges on your minions, and your life is set. Like, you don't have to sweat anything. But yeah, it's a very awkward amulet helmet. I like the concept of it. Like, it's something I have always played around with. When it came out, I was thinking of using it for like discharge specters, to see if I could make that work. Spoiler alert, I could not. It was trash. It was like doo-doo, like actual doo-doo. I do not recommend. But yeah, discharge requires you to remove charges, so they need to have like really good charge gen. But even with necromantic ages plus Victario's charity plus anime guardian with gravebind and replica Victario's charity, yes. So then each kill would be attributed to my AG, and he had both Victario's and replica Victario's, giving them power charges, endurance charges, and frenzy charges. And you know, because they are these 2 shields, he has an even higher percentage of getting endurance and power charges, or the overlap, which is just power charge, I guess. And then the specters themselves had power charge on crit, and I think endurance charge on melee stun, something like that. And they use flicker strike, so they're going to proc that, and they just generate frenzy charges and everything. So the concept was there, but it was trash. It was the build was painful. It was painful. You were thinking discharge specters? Yeah, I've tried them. It hurts. I might look at them at some point in the future again, but yeah, I don't know. There was one thing I thought about. And what I thought about was, and hear me out on this. Eternal Apple. I'm gonna put Feeding Frenzy in there. And then I'm gonna put efficacy in here. We're going max damage, or at least as max damage as we can have. Eternal Apple for automated war cries. Enduring Composure. And Enduring Cry. This Enduring Cry would give them 3 charges. You get your Warcry CDR to Warcry from every 8 seconds to every 2 seconds. So they all get endurance charges, 3 endurance charges. You can pair this with a Warlord to also give charges. And then just roll with it. The idea of that would be you're always pumping them with endurance charges. And then you give them pig face bassinets and you take all the endurance charge nodes, so you have 6 max. So they can actually get up to 6 max if they do not run into an enemy like between your cast and the Warlord's cast. So like that could work. Have to POB that, but like that was an idea I had. You can, if you want to mess around with that, you can. Eternal Apple makes it so you don't have to spam Enduring Cry every 2 seconds, so it just automatically does it. Every time your Warlord cries, it should proc your Eternal Apple, so you then do Enduring Cry. Then you do Enduring Cry. Keep in mind you probably want to have +2 minimum endurance charges on probably both of your rings. +1/+1, just so that you're not always on 0 endurance charges, and it's easier for you to hit your cap of 6. Because if you do that, you cry, giving you, what was it? Was it 3 or 5 endurance charges? I think it was like 5 endurance charges, but with the power you would have, because you'd be going chieftain, so you'd have infinite power on your war cries. I think that was something like that. I have been looking at this for a while, so let's actually get the... We're gonna need Scarabs. Bruh. Really? But yeah, Pigface Bassinet is just awkward at best. $5 for 36, really? I mean, I'll take it, I guess. I'll say 3. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, cool. Now let's roll our map. AoE 2, I don't care. I don't care. Fraser's extra code. I can actually run this. It's the ironic thing. So let's see how this feels. God. I can already see it. I decide to run one map. Where's my granite? I think this is the one. I decide to run one flask. And not one flask. One map. And it's going to give me the minions that murder me in T17s. The ones with the...
When I'm ready, and not before.
So the ones with the lightning orbs, I already see it. But this is probably the way to do T17s. I don't know that single target poison DPS is the highest, but you don't have to worry about them dying too often. So you actually have more DPS because you have more of them alive at a time. I should probably skip the strong boxes simply because I don't want to spawn altars before the boss. Because I won't take the altars, right? Keep in mind, I'm not getting block chance from the offering, sadly.
Death will never come for an immortal.
Oh, where is this guy? This should be who we focus.
Mortal. Your soul burns for me. Kulamak. Mortal. Arise, my
So yeah, we are very tanky.
feed. Give your soul to me.
Why did I die there? My guess.
Your soul burns for me.
His progenesis was off. This is not. I mean, this is a problem, but it's not that big of a problem. There's something else. I'm not sure what it is. We'll figure it out.
Give your soul to me.
Bro.
When I'm ready and not your soul burns for me.
There we go. I think I know what's happening.
Give your soul to me.
I think I know exactly what's happening. My guy is. This phase is the one that has the guy that disappears, and because he disappears, we lose leech, and
Burns for
the damage overruns
soul
us.
to me.
Like, I hate this guy. When Mr. Disappearing Act isn't there, we have less problems.
Kulamak, darkness walls. Arise.
I don't think there's anything reducing my armor either, so
Feed mortal.
also these fuckers hurt even when just popping the skulls. I don't get it. What is that? Lag. Yeah, can we even complete this map? Something is off, and I'm not sure what it is. Let me look at my character. Everything is fine here. We have Defiance of Destiny. Mod-wise, there shouldn't be anything that's really causing any issues. Frenzy charges, whatever. Fizz has extra code. Oh! I know exactly what's going on. Potentially. There's no power charge here, right? No. I think I know what's going on. I think it's the interaction. It might be. If they had like high crit chance, then it would 100% be. But seeing as their crit chance is not the highest, it also might not be. It could be a case of I don't have my maximum minion, so I just don't have the PDR I am expecting to have.
Arise, my children.
It could be that, or it could be, and here's the interaction I'm talking about. When it comes to Blood Notch specifically, oh nice. That was dumb. I just realized I've been dying. I shouldn't be dying. I shouldn't be doing anything that's gonna risk me. Oh my lord, I was so close to leveling up too. Yeah, that was dumb. Shouldn't have done that. If I die one more time, I'm done. But yeah. So TLDR. If a hit freezes you, or not freezes you, if a hit has the ability to freeze you, i.e. it does cold damage and it crits, it cannot count. In current PoE, it doesn't count as a stunning hit, and if it is not a stunning hit, then you cannot regen via Blood Notch. So what then happens is, on builds that use Blood Notch, is if you do not have some form of, I don't say anti-crit, because reducing the damage from crit is not enough. You actually have to just be immune to crits. Like, you have to stop the enemy from doing crits to you. Because if it's not a crit, then it can't freeze you. And if it can't freeze you, then it can't be a freezing hit. And as such, it will be a stunning hit. If that makes sense. I hope it makes sense. But anyways, by having... Is it just me, or do these Devouras look kind of weird? They look kind of weird. They look kind of like very PoE 2 inspired. I don't know. I'm not used to them. These are not the Devouras I am used to. But anyways, so yeah, I have some defense against this mechanic by having it so. I have it so that if I get stunned recently, I cannot take crits. So the moment I have been hit and stunned, for the next 4 seconds, I effectively cannot be crit, and as such, I cannot suffer a freezing hit. So Blood Notch helps me. But if that one hits, if that very first hit is in fact, where are my swords going? This is one of the situations where I'm thinking about Ancient Skull. Like, I don't know if I want you.
Hello there.
Rankman, what up? Welcome. Rank Manen, how you doing? Anyways, what was I saying? Yes, so I currently have it so long as it is not the very first hit I take that stuns me, I will not be crit, and as such, I should not be dying. This is currently how I am set up, or my build is set up. And it works. It works. Except when it doesn't. And when it doesn't is potentially what I've been facing. Because if anybody does a crit right now, I don't know if Katarina has any guaranteed crit mechanics, but because of this Fizz extra cold, she's going to do cold damage. And so long as she's doing cold damage and crits, then that hit can freeze. And if it can freeze, then I am prone to that. So that is something to keep in mind if you're using Blood Notch. Be very wary of Fizz extra cold in particular. Oh, you played my Spectre build. How did you like it? Hope it treated you just as well as it did me.
Local. Hunt.
But yeah, we bone offering. It wasn't half bad. Like, I'm actually able to sustain them at 14 swords, so that's good. Yeah, we'll have 16 divines. What costs? Like, how much is my medium budget costs? My medium budget for which one? Frost bearers. No, that's PDR. We don't mess around with negative PDR. Are you talking about my frost bearer build? Now let's see what it looks like when I actually have flesh offering here. I want to see if my minions end up dying in the same situations, or if they were chilling regardless. Ambush Scarab of Discernment, I will take you. Oh, adverts. Alright. Yeah, ads should be done in a minute, it seems. I always forget to look if ads are running or not. Okay, we completed the map. I don't like all the deaths I had at Katarina. And I can't 100% say it was the thing I said, which is the freezing hits and everything. Why did I die there? Why? Did I just not have the max hits? I would think I would. Because it's Fizz, then it converts like 25% to fire. It's Fizz, converts to fire, and then... maybe it's just because Progenesis was off. Maybe that's it. Makes me think, should I just fit in a Balbala into the build? Get at least one charge going by having one flask off? Because if I do that, I embrace Balbala, I drop the Granite Flask entirely, so everything else has one charge. Then I have some increased charge effect, and then I have the minions I'm killing. In theory, I just have better Flask uptime, and I should be in a good spot, in theory. Okay, no more adverts. Yes, like what have the 16 Divine... I think you're asking me how much my medium budget costs. And I think it should be pretty cheap. I know when I did mine, I spent like 20 divines, give or take. But in present economy, medium budget. Let me just look at the items again. This is cheap. This should be decently cheap. Can easily recombine that, but that's recombination is above the budget of medium budget. This is going to be expensive. This wand I will change actually. It should be trigger. Can have up to 3 and minion damage. And let's just say none. We lose good DPS, but not that much. And this is a more this is a much more budget option. But yeah, this. So this would cost you like 2 to 4 divines depending on the base. This is like not expensive, like at most a divine, if probably not going to be. The Joe should all cost you less than a divine. Like all 4 of them could easily cost you 50C each. So if I had to say, you should be able to put this build together with 10 divines should be enough. 10-15 divines. You have Svalin and helmets. This version doesn't use Svalin. I would not recommend Svalin on this version because I think this version is just barely getting. Okay, you actually can. You can fit in a Svalin actually. Because what is very important here is you need your Race Spectre to be level 25. So if you're getting level 26, then you can afford to drop the shield. But if you are level 25, you cannot drop the shield. Because 25 is where you get your last Spectre. You want level 25. So it all depends on you. If you can get level 25 without the shield, then yes, you can go into this Fallen. And by using this Fallen, you would have a lot of defenses. And it would transition pretty nicely into the high budget because the high budget uses Fallen. So yeah, 16 divines is more than enough. Just make sure you don't spend too much on anything. If you have questions about the gear being used, like how to get something like this cheap, I have a video, a crafting video for how you do this. But the summary for getting something like this is you find a base, so a +1 Spectre chest piece that has good life. That's all you care about. Just look for something that has life. And then just oh, you've seen the video? Okay. You just find something that has life and you craft your suffixes. Should be cheap. But yeah, this entire thing should be 10 divines, easy. There's nothing here that's expensive. The most expensive thing here has been removed because the most expensive thing here was a flesh and flame for Plaguebringer, but I believe you don't need it, so just do this version. Yeah, this version is fine. So yeah, 10 divines, you're chilling. With the current economy, everything should be very cheap. I know the Rate Lord. Well, you said you have it, so never mind. You don't need the Rate Lord. All's Uprising might be the more expensive one, but with All's Uprising, you want to get the cheapest of any aura you are running. So Zealotry, we're using Zealotry. So if you find Zealotry, I think it was the cheapest when I made the guide. So you use Zealotry. But if you find Determination that's around the same price or cheaper, you use Determination. So long as it is a 35% or 50% reservation aura, you can use its All's Uprising. So Purity of Elements, you can use its All's Uprising and you're set. We just lost XP for free. I didn't think that through. I didn't think the T17 through. I was like, Now that I think about it, like that was dumb. I should have done that. I do not recommend doing that. Oh my god. Anyways, let's get back to farming tea. Whatchamacallums. We'll drop this here. You are level 85 in Act 9? Question mark? What do you mean? Oh, 65. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. If you're worried about the currency, you have more than enough.
When I'm ready and not before.
This is not somewhere that has minion damage, right? Okay, no, it's not. What the fuck was that dip? Was I bleeding? I can't be bleeding, right? I have 100% immune. You have 100% chance to avoid bleeding. Was that the burning ground? What was that dot? I have no idea what that dot was, but that was scary. Loki, I was feeling like I wasn't doing like I was doing way less DPS than I should be doing. Then I realized that this map has 70% more life. So it just feels so they're just tankier, so it just feels like I'm doing less damage. Because I'm like, why do I feel like I'm not like I felt like you know what it felt like? It felt like I was using bone offering. Like I forgot to swap out the bone offering. But I was very sure I didn't forget to swap out a bone offering. Like I was like, I remember switching out the flesh of bone offering to flesh. I can see the red offering on my head. Like, oh, you know what it is? It's this guy, right? It's the Eta dots. Because I believe Eta does lightning dots. The fortunate, thank you very much. This is recovery rate. I can deal with that.
When I'm ready and not before.
Let me get water. Give me a second. You know something I'm considering doing? I'm thinking about leveling a separate character for elemental chains of command. The simple reason for this is I don't want to overwrite this AG. I don't think it's fair to him after all we've been through. And that AG would be a whole lot more replaceable. This guy, I can't replace his weapon. I'm not going to. And I don't want to lose this build. So I would have this AG as my fallback chains of command. And then that one would be my... And that AG would actually be fine with Ancient Skull, even if it's not as tanky as this guy, for one reason and one reason alone. And that is his weapon is not cancer to craft. It's pricey, but it's not cancer to craft. I can just hop on trade, buy it, we're done. But if this guy dies, I have to go through the process of crafting that weapon again, and that's not something I'm gonna do. Plus, I take greater pride in this guy's weapon than a Void Forge. Much greater, what's it called? Much greater pride. Are specters good to strongbox? Frost depends on the specter, but most are. I like my current build for strong boxes because it has explode. Explode feels really good on strong boxes. But our specters good, yes. They can do it easily. So if you want a strong box, they are good. They are a very good choice. These guys and Wretch Defilers are also pretty good as well. Oh, you love what explode? Explode feels amazing. Like with my current character, I just click it and they all they just die. They just insta dead. Like watch the chain explosions happen. Like it's very satisfying. Very satisfying. I will take the cartographers. Thank you very much. You know something I should have gotten but I haven't yet? Woke Generosity. I have no reason to have not gotten it other than I don't know, I've been lazy. There's no reason why I haven't gotten a Woke Generosity yet. Not a single one. No valid reason. So you know what I'm gonna do? After this map, I'm going to buy one. Oh, is there a second area? A second source? So I think that's what I'm gonna do for my elemental chains of command. That's an AG I'll be more willing to lose. I'll probably still end up dropping empower on my PoB for feeding frenzy. I have the +2 helmet, so I have the +2 helmet, so I don't have to worry about it being too squishy. I did find out today that you can use the ward flask. All rots, right? How would I fit an all rot into a build? That's not a bad idea. My biggest if with it, right, and this is specific to chains of command, is specifically because of chains of command. What the fuck? With chains of command, I don't have access to an evasion armor chest piece. I mean, it's chains of command is an evasion. Chains of command is an evasion ES base. So for Inda's stand, not the greatest thing ever. And for its armor, it's not that amazing. Not all rods? Do you mean a regular iron flask? What do you mean? That's what, 3 ziggurats, but 2 of them are corrupted, so we don't count them. Minus PDR, we take this guy. We take this guy. I think once minus PDR is out of the pool, I don't really have to worry about much. Oh yeah, you know what I forgot? I forgot I had an amelioration that reduced how much I lost on my first death. Should probably get one more or a few more, because I'm gonna make some bad decisions again. I know it. I can tell. Starlight Chalice. Oh, the one that applies exposure when it is used. I mean, it's not a bad idea. Let me think. Starlight Chalice. I guess I could, because Chains of Command already kind of goes pseudo. Chains of Command already goes pseudo flask heavy, I guess is the word I should say.
Too much clutter.
I'm already going to be going Progenesis, and this guy, I could drop one more flask. Maybe this would be specifically for pushing like T17s or something, because being able to expose for every element is really good. What is its uptime like? Because I know it's only when you use it, right? Only on use where it applies the exposure. It's not a constant exposure around you. Level 26 spine bow or 26 quality spine bow. I hate that Awakening Train doesn't use quality. Alright. Doesn't matter. Not a bad idea. I like the idea. PoE Wiki, Starlight Chalice. $40 charges on use. It doesn't have reduced charges used or increased recovery. Inflicts this on nearby enemies when used. Increased effect on non-damaging ailments you inflict during effect. Oh no, it has increased charge recovery, so there's that. You don't really care for this. I guess it's when you just use on when the charges hits full. Not bad. How would it work in single targets? How the question I guess would then be how big is the range? I think that would ultimately be the question. Yo, my T17 map drops have been insane. Like, I've been dropping these things back to fucking back. I love it. And each T17 is like big profits for me. Like literally, I sell it at slightly under a divine, so it's almost like a divine per T17. Am I the only one that low-key wishes I could always have the filter that's applied when you pick a bismuth vein? I'm like, can we just always have it up permanently? Life would low-key be chill if we could. Another ziggurat? Yo, my luck don't play today. All right, it did not play. So what I'm going to do for my next character is I'm actually going to just get like, I guess, over 100 divines in like liquid currency before I even start messing around with it. I'm not gonna spend the 100 divines straight up, but I want to be able to instantly get anything I want. I already have the helmets. I still need to figure out my defenses on PoB, but I feel like I might have more fun on that version because, how do I put it? This version is nice. I love this version. Like, I really love this version. The reason I think I might have more fun on it is a part of me enjoys the, how do I put it? I enjoy upfront damage slightly more than I enjoy delayed damage, like through dots and whatnot. And having double delayed damage through, is there anything yet? Fox Shade, I've heard of it for leveling. Meh. What about you, Grasping Nightshade? Alright. We're just gonna pick up a Crown of Eyes. Let's go Fox Shade because I've never seen it drop before. But anyways, I like upfront damage slightly more in an explode build simply because I want to be able to walk past a mob and it dies. What was the weapon on the AG? Yes, my setup is very exposure starved. So like that would be my source of exposure. Like it's a really good idea for exposure. I like it. The question is more uptime than anything. Like, is it something I'm going to just use on a boss and suddenly I can't, like once 4 seconds is done, I don't get it up. I don't get exposure again for another while, or like I'll have to see how it feels pretty much. Give me a second. I'm back. Free ward. I mean, it technically is, but it actually isn't that impactful because it's just what 400 ward. We don't have any modifiers to ward, so we're not going to be doing much with it. So it's going to be the effectiveness of having a 400 life pool every X seconds that it procs. So I'm not going to think about the ward portion of it, but the exposure portion is big. All right, let's try Arcane. You want to play some Deadlock? We can give it a shot real quick, see how it goes. I have no expectations with I have no expectations on how it's going to go. I'm a complete noob. I don't know anything or whatever, but we could give it a shot. Also, I should deal with my King's March. I should deal with my King's March real quick.
Oh, good. Will work.
Well, there was something that happened here that I was just like, bruh. I don't remember what. I don't remember what, but there was something that happened today in King's March. I think it had to do with shipping. And I just on ID. That's what I want to do. Unique.
We haven't got anything to disenchant. That'll do.
Yeah, we're about to change that. Don't worry.
It'll make great dust.
Ephemeral's Edge. Did I bullet? No, I haven't yet. No, I don't have space for that.
Let's make some dust. We're gonna have fun with that one.
Oh. Huh. Let's rescue these guys before I forget. There was a moment that kind of scared me with King's March. I think this was like 2 days ago, where
Why are you
I had
helping
this-
this colonizing
I had
bastard?
essentially
Do it for the money, eh?
I had picked the rescue option, and I was like,
This is your end.
is it? Is it really?
Be gone. Set you ablaze. In my sight. Archers.
Did my guy just do
rise.
blink arrow? I think he did.
In my sight. Meet your maker. You ignorant bastard.
Poison. Can't run away from that. So yeah, back to what I was saying. I had just gotten, I sent my map runners out thinking, you know, life is good, everything. Then we got the message saying, you know,
Load of baubles ready to be looted.
Sasan was at work again and we had to stop him. Maps now, Deathless Run Act 1 to 10. Oh, congratulations, rank. I can't remember the last time I managed to run Deathless in campaign. I don't know what it is about me and campaign. We just don't get along. Like, we just... I always find a way to die at some point. Unless I'm just playing something very overpowered. Well, if I'm twinking, that's of course a different thing too. If I twink, odds I'm not gonna die as often, though. If it's a new twink setup, I probably will. Like when I tried the summon wolves tech, I died so many times just figuring out I died so many times just on single target because I didn't think ahead enough to, you know, maybe you just won't have single target on this build that requires you to kill without, and you don't have a writing jar, you know? I just didn't think ahead. It is what it is. Happens. Really? So you're telling me those volatiles just did damage to my tree for free? Fun. Very fun indeed. Ooh. 8 chaoses right now is unbelievably expensive. It actually surprises me how expensive chaoses are compared to divines. I mean, I know at some points during the league we are bound to get chaoses going up in price because of T17s. Uh-oh. Because of T17s and rolling with chaoses, it's always bound to happen. Like, so long as T17s remain the way they are, it's gonna happen, right? But like the extent to which it is depreciated is I find it very wild. Can you like stop trying to kill me, please? I'm never gonna say anything. I'm not even gonna say anything. Ziggurat loves dropping, and I love having it.
You're alive.
Did you kill me? Why do you sound so surprised that I'm alive? Should I be cautious of you, Rog? One thing I've also noticed is, like, I'm not even joking on this, the amount of movement speed my character has almost directly affects how much fun I'm having on a character. When I'm on a very fast character, I have substantially more fun than being on a slower character. That is something I have noticed. And speaking of speed, I should reroll this into speed because this is a staple. I don't get rid of this. I don't care about the evasion rating anymore, but the movement speed. I'm gonna feel the movement speed. So I'm gonna reroll this. If we can get something good here. I don't want my armor to be on this flask because this flask I feel is more optional, and there are universes where I remove it for something else. Now my granite flask has what mod? Movement speed. So that one can get the armor. I could also just, you know what, let's try that. Let's look for movement speed. Jesus. 60% increase armor? Okay. You lose. I'm sorry, you just lose, okay? Let's go for movement speed. We're looking for a 12-ish% plus movement speed here. That's 59 armor. What is this RNG though? Do we risk it? Do I risk it? No. I think its uptime is already fine. I think its uptime is actually fine.
When I'm ready and not.
Life is too precious to waste on you.
Another ziggurat? Oh, that was gonna be big movement speed. Okay. I mean, it's not like Eldritch Orbs of Annulment are fucking expensive right now. 90 chaos for just 2 of them. How do I fit his Falling on this build if I so choose to? Well, I didn't know how I would. But that doesn't explain the defenses. If I go for my Ancient Skull idea and I dropped Despair in favor... What if I went Ancient Skull? I still went Despair Gloves, but then the way I approached the extra suffix pressure that I'd be facing is... The way I would address that is converting like Sublime Vision, Purity of Lightning. We would lose... The problem with that one is we would lose Hatred. I don't like the idea of losing Hatred. I don't like the idea of losing... Well, I'm going to lose my shield regardless. But losing Hatred would be a big blow. Seeing as it's... we're scaling... We should be scaling a whole lot of phase. Realistically. If we scale a whole lot of Fizz, we're able to make use of Hatred a whole lot more to then convert Fizz damage to cold, and that contributes to the poison. So losing Hatred would be a big blow. But if the price of Hatred would be gaining Purity of Lightning, because that's the only offensive... I think that's the only... Well, technically that's not the only thing I'm giving up, because if I go for this version I'd lose Determination, which means I lose a Watcher's Eye, because I have no use for the Watcher's Eye or sides. Well, I guess I do still use the Watcher's Eye to convert, right? Because it's going to be Sublime Vision, Purity of Lightning, and then on top of Sublime Vision, Purity of Lightning, we're going to be running Watcher's Eye to convert the remaining 20% to lightning damage. So but PDR becomes more of an issue. But if I'm going full send into block, if I go full send into block, yo, the Ziggurats. My T17 map luck is insane today. Okay, like it's wild. I typically don't get this lucky. But I would say maybe strong boxes are playing a big role in it too. Like even since I started strong boxes, I typically still don't get this lucky. So today is especially lucky in that field. But anyways, as I was saying, if I go full send into block, let me think. Full send into block, right? And I'm able to block cap without Bone Offering. That's gonna be rough. Trying to block up without Bone Offering. I think I just kind of have to. I kind of have to use Bone Offering. So effectively, what this change would be, let me just try to math it out in my head. Minus defensive helmet plus offensive helmets. So we gain damage from the helmet swap. We keep the despair so we don't lose damage there. Think we go Faarming so we lose our shield, so we lose damage there. We probably drop Feeding Frenzy for Empower, so we lose damage there. We drop Flesh Offering, so we lose damage also. We probably drop some of some offensive notes in favor of the defense. So again, we lose DPS there, but we'd be gaining a hell of a lot of DPS from the helmets.
Only the worthy may pass.
It sounds like we're still gonna lose a good chunk of DPS by doing this route. And well, if we get to 90% block, we can use Aspect of the Crab. Aspect of the Crab has no qualms with...
You'll appreciate this one.
Aspect of the Crab has no problems with... You have 51 divines now.
Steel yourself.
Jeez. What did you drop? Must have been something big.
I think you'll appreciate this. I'm finally starting to enjoy myself. Stand tall.
A good joke. Congratulations.
Test your resolve.
That's wild. That is huge.
I'm finally starting to enjoy myself.
Okay, it's time for you to die, Mr. Enjoy yourself.
Shown yourself to be worthy.
Okay.
Too much clatter.
There's no fucking
Hello
way. Hello there. I will see who sent that message in a second. Okay, cool. Green Froggy, what up? We just dropped a power rune, so we'll take it. That's easy 5 divines there. The shield could be 2 to 5 to 3 divines, I think. 15% chance to block. That's how you do that. 6 divines. So that was an 11 divine boss, or 12, give or take. Talk about luck, huh? I tell you, man, my RNG today, top notch. I don't know what it is, but I feel lucky. What up, Cream Froggy? What you up to? I was talking about how I plan on creating a second Chains of Command character because I can't get enough Chains of Command. But I plan on creating a second Chains of Command character because I plan on running an elemental version of the build and probably using Void Forge to see how he feels, pretty much. This is 6 divines. Is this better than my Svalin? I doubt it. I think my Svalin ward is better. I think it's better. I will hold off on listing this until I check. But yeah, I don't think it's like right now good new builds are not easy to find. I've been looking for something new. I have POB'd so much in the past like month that it's not even funny. Like I have POB'd a disgusting amount. Be it champion using what's it called? Be a champion using like banners to chieftains using eternal apple for war cries. I have POB'd so much because I've just been like, let me just look, and whenever I just POB stuff, it just feels like most things are just a big no. The most promising one I POB'd was Anime Guardian of Smiting, but as we saw when I did it, his AI was not to be. His AI was disgusting, and that's putting it mildly. We don't talk about AG's AI anymore. Like I think I've been scarred by his AI. I don't think I can ever see someone try to make an AG of smiting build and actually just let them go through it, because it sounds like absolute pain. Like, I heard it was bad, but like, Jesus Christ, it was awful. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemies. It was that bad. Oh, you didn't. But yeah, it was rough. But anyways, I am thinking of making an elemental chains of command build, because I find that with my playstyle specifically, I love being able to just walk around, and I love the upfront damage that going elemental and non-poison would offer. I do really like the amount of damage I'm able to get on this version, but I think having 2 sets of ramp it can feel awkward in single targets. So this build is probably better off with clearing, but that's ironic too, because you know, upfront damage is typically better for clearing because you don't have to ramp anything up, right? So is it a build I can recommend this version of the build, but I think if I can make an elemental version, that'd be also fun. Rip divine prices. Yo, divine prices have been moving mad the past few days, or the past week rather. Last I checked, it was like 120. How much is it now? It's 113. Yeah. All I can say is don't save in divines, right? Woo! Ziggurats. Thank you very much. I have, like, I kid you not, in the past, what is it, 6 maps, I have dropped a minimum of 1 ziggurat each time. Like a minimum. Every single map. I don't know what to do with 250 divines. Buy shards. Mirror shards are going up, so like I thought mirror shards would go down with how much the league mechanic prints them. They're still going up, so that's a good place to keep them at. If you don't want that, you can maybe look at veiled orbs. Veiled orbs are decent, and they would always maintain their value to a degree. You're going to 90 this weekend. What do you mean to 90? Oh, Nameless Seer. You know what, Nameless Seer? Why can't you just give me a mage build like you give everyone else, huh? Tell me. What have I done to you? Huh? You give everyone else a mage blood. When it comes to my turn, you give me supreme truth. All right? Like that. Why? Give me a mage blood. Tell me what I've done to you. Huh? Nameless here don't like me. I think the best thing I've ever dropped from a Nameless here is like an ivory tower. I think that's the best thing I've ever dropped. Nothing else. Oh, you mean, oh, it's going to 90? I thought you said you were going to 90, so it's as in the divine. I wouldn't be surprised, I'll be honest. I would not be surprised. With the way it's moving, yeesh. On the bright side, like the weekend is where more people start playing. Like player base grows during the weekend. This is something that happens because more people have time off work and yada yada yada. So do I think that's going to make divine prices go up or down? I mean, I would say more casual people is like it's less like the tryhards play during the week. The more casual people are people who log on weekends and they don't roll chaos. So maybe just maybe it goes up over the weekend. Like there is that possibility. Oh, looky here. The bots are out. Oof. Nope. What is striking here with lightning, if I might ask? I'm sitting in Act 2 giving tabulas and 7 steps to randoms. Just feel like... I mean, I can't blame you. The question is, how many random people accept trades that just pop up? And are you standing by the gates? Because if you stand at the entrance of Act 3 and you just try to trade anybody that doesn't have a tabula, that's how you probably know the people who are actually like league starting. Not many, but I check if they have 1 achievement. How do you do this? You can check. Like, do you pull up their profile on PoE.com or how do you do that? And is it like, oh, you say, oh, okay, you speak.
When I'm ready.
You speak it, Teresa. Pretty much. But yeah, it's a nice thing to do. I have done some similar stuff on like RuneScape and whatnot. This league, I haven't actually. Maybe I should, but that'll probably be like way later. Wait, did that thing run out of mobs to spawn? Because it was alive and it stopped spawning mobs. That's my first time seeing it do that. Does it have a limited amount of mobs it can spawn? I guess it probably does. I swear if an employee did this, the league survive more because more people get in. Possibly, but at the same time, possibly not. I say this because there's a lot of people who would play less if given handouts. It depends on the size of the handouts though. So if it's a tabula, then you know, then that's probably chill. But there are also some people who the moment they get a tabula, like I have beaten the game because this is they're not juicers or hardcore players, or I don't say hardcore players, I should say no lifers because that's more accurate, right? So they get their 6 link, they feel omega powerful, but they're in Act 2, so they still feel like everything is, you know, trash. But to be fair, one thing to be fair about is in Act 3, even though they have a 6 link, they probably do not have they don't have access to Lily, right? So they might not have the optimal gems to sockets. But even still, but yeah, new players would definitely enjoy it. They would cherish that little bit of random kindness than anything else. Like they would actually remember that for a while. Okay, so what do we want to build? Let's look at PoB for a bit. I think that's what I want to do. I want to look at PoB and I want to play around with the elemental version of this. Right now, my biggest problem with the elemental version of the Chains of Command is survivability. And I think what I want to do is I want to go block. I want to get 90% block. I don't know that I can do this without Mistress of Sacrifice. And if I do decide to go 90% block, I don't know that I can offset the attack block portion without coming down here. Because then I'm missing out on 3 attack block and 4 attack block, 7 attack block, and then this one. But then I could maybe do this and use the same notes. I'm only missing out 7% and maybe make that work somehow. I don't know. Some of them cancel trade though. What's this white armor giving? Nothing. Yo, I saw a Reddit post like a week to 2 weeks ago about someone who gave their new player friend basically twink gear like tabula rasa 7 leagues, and the friend sold it to the vendor saying the armor was trash. It had no stats on it, so they used some random piece of gear they found. And the boots, yeah, he also vended that. He didn't give stats, he just gave move speed. So he vended the tabula and the boots. And I was like, you know, I can't even blame you too much. Like, I don't see how you would drop 50% move speed and not feel it, but that's also me with my PoE mindset thinking about the whole situation. It's like I can't blame you, really. As a new player, would I take 50% move speed, or would I take 10% move speed, armor, health, resistances? I probably take the resistances and all the other things. But it's very fascinating hearing stories like that. It puts things in perspective. I could have been mind blown at something like that ever happening, but it makes sense to a degree, right? Oh, you know what I'm missing? I'm missing 12% reservation. That's something I'm missing. So this version has okay damage. I want to get this DPS way higher, because as it stands, I'm using a cold attuned buckler for a lot of like my selfish purposes. Recover 5% of life on block and brittle. Now, at 40% chance to block, I can't really rely on this brittle on bosses. So that's why I'm just saying I might just full send a... And my full send is Fallen here. If I full send Fallen, right, I can then get to 65% block chance. I can use Tempest Shield. I can use Aspects, and I can use... Basically, the idea would be get to 90% block, and then use Aspect of the Crab to mitigate physical damage. And for non-physical damage, we're going to be using Divine Flesh. And... Divine Flesh, Sublime Vision into Lightning. So we'd only build Lightning Res and Chaos Res. So early damage is fixed. PDR is not the best, but it's not the worst because of the aspects and 90% block. Then my defenses would be 100% reliant on 90% block. Then the next question is, how do I get to 90% block without Bone Offering? Because I have two options here. I either go Bone Offering. I can do something along the lines of Bone Offering, Spirit Offering, and like run two of them, use Leash of Oblation, and find a way to trigger the offerings. How about Ward? You mean like going in that stand? In that stand would not be bad, but it's not the best either because of Chains of Command. So I don't think there's any roles here I should really worry about. But if I switch in that stand, I don't get that much ward because Chains of Command is Chains of Command, right? It's not armor evasion, it's armor. So I can get some benefits. I can get up to 900 ward. But like, that's about it. And getting to 900 ward is the equivalent of having 900 health for that one hit. Versus being able to use something like a Darkness Enthroned with life and have slightly more life. Now, granted, defensively, it makes sense to go the ward setup because you just gain more of a hit pool for that one hit. And I might do that. That would help quite a bit, actually, having that 900 ward. But without the evasion part of the chest piece, it will get rough. Because then it means we're very dependent on our conditional defenses. We're very dependent on ward. We're very dependent on aspects of the crab. So if we get hits, ward goes on cooldown, and so does aspects. Assuming it's a physical hit. Ward goes on cooldown, aspect goes on cooldown, and now they're regenerating. Aspect is, by the time ward is back on, aspect would be at 4 stacks. I'd be getting 8%. Is it 8% PDR, I think. But in those 2 seconds, I'm very vulnerable. And typically, ward tank setup would have some evasion to work with, so that you still have a chance to dodge attacks while your ward is down, and just on the off chance it still get something else gets through block, because something else you can still take 2 hits in consecutively, right? It's not a bad idea. But if I'm okay, so this is the thing. If I sacrifice my shield for defenses, I sacrifice my belt for defenses, and what else would I be sacrificing here? And I'm sacrificing my auras for defenses. Then how do I scale offenses with what's left? Because keep in mind, the layers that are still going to be left, I guess then I would just drop the Light of Meaning, so I'll get another one of the jewels. The jewels are pretty big, but I would also lose a jewel going Divine Flesh, so it's probably be this jewel here. I'm also not running Purity of Element, so this is mandatory. Yeah, this is mandatory. Can I fit an extra jewel? Like, let me actually look here. What is the closest jewel I can fit? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 5 points away. This is 7 points away. This is 7 points away. So this is the closest jewel socket I have. If I can save 5 points, I can get here and use this. Is there a Watcher's Eye in here? That's another socket. If I choose not to go Element Immunity because I'd be going Tempest Shield and Pantheon, then I can't rely on Blood Notch either. Blood Notch is here for those hits that do make it through. So I guess the question is, do I care for a Blood Notch / immutable force? True 90% block. Personally, I think it would still be big defensively. I think it will still be big defensively. And what I should probably be doing is going for a chance to avoid stun, like here, chance to avoid poison and stun, like as these two, as suffixes on these two jewels. Because with chance to avoid stun, I can drop immutable force and then remove Blood Notch because chance to avoid stun. And then use Pantheon, and I would then have, like, let's say I use one of these for Divine Flesh, I can use the other for an extra jewel. More DPS. One thing I'm not looking forward to on this build is crafting all of these. It sounds like cancer, man. Because we can't use Harvest. We kind of just have to alt spam it until we get physical damage, and not only that, T1 physical damage. And then we have to we then have to get the accuracy, and then we can then corrupt it and get potentially corrupted blood immunity and yada yada, if we choose to corrupt it with the Inekora lock Beastcraft. So what are our layers of defense here? We're going lightning. So we're shifting all our elemental to lightning, so we don't have to worry about fire pen, we don't have to worry about cold pen, we don't have to worry about stunning hits, so we save points there, or freezing hits rather, so we save points there. If we decide to go Blood Notch, which I still want to, then we become very resilient to those hits that do make it through. But I also think Blood Notch is kind of anti-synergistic with 90% block. And the reason it's anti-synergistic is that one hit that does make it through I would recover it because it might be a stunning hit, yada yada. I guess it's like a last line of defense. If a big physical hit or a decently sized physical hit hits me while my ward and my aspect of the crab are down, then immutable, then that's where Blood Notch would shine. But the alternative is just more DPS. And also we still haven't solved the question, how do we get to 90% block without conditionals and without losing any of the gem sockets we have right now? This is necessary. This is probably very mandatory. Well, not very mandatory. This is not that mandatory. We can drop this for this, but we'd have to have a good way of proccing Bone Offering. Let's look on PoE Ninja. That's what we're going to do here. Let's just look on PoE Ninja. What we're going to be looking for. We're going to be looking for two things here. Builds. I want to see, I guess, Valin on a necromancer that has bone offering and one, or at least one other offering. They have 1, 2, and 3. Leash of Oblation. How do they trigger? How do they get the corpses forwards? The only way I can think of to then solve that problem would be Corpse Walker, because Corpse Walker would fully automate this. You can have the 3 offerings with Corpse Walker and this one. Do you just, I think this person just resigned themselves to not having offerings for single targets, which is just bad, in my opinion. Like, in my opinion, that's just terrible. What are you picking up in blood magic? Oh, block AD. And then a easy source of endurance charges even on a build like this. On single target, you still wouldn't have it though. But it saves you from the headache of having to use impossible escape. Cause like here we don't use endurance charges now. So phase max it is lower than I think. I'm also scaling endurance charges, so I do want a source of it. I didn't think about that yet. It would have been enduring composure. Or impossible escape for that. It's not a bad idea. Because 12% chance to block AD kind of solves a lot of the worries I had on capping block. But this still uses bone offering. I guess let's see what the next person does. Still triple offering. How do they trigger? Okay, I just picked these 2 offerings, so it's not like they have to have them. All right. So people just take the triple offering and call it a day. They don't bother with corpses on single targets. I'm not sure I like that idea. Flesh, bone offering, and a more duration. Because there is we can also decide to have it so we cast, we can go bone offering, spirit offering, more duration, and then we just manually cast desecrate single targets, and that would trigger the offerings. It's something we can do. Why are you going forbidden rites? On nerve on hits. Is that all? I mean, these are rich defilers 100%. But I'm so confused as to what is going on. Why would you need forbidden rights? Anyone have any idea why someone would... Do you have a cast when damage taken? No. If you had forbidden right and then you use cast when damage taken desecrates, you know, that could work. I guess that could work too. Sacrifice one socket for a forbidden rights jewel. And then have cast when damage taken with desecrates. So we trigger the forbidden rights and that triggers desecrate. But then it only triggers once. And then it's on cooldown. And nah. Nah. Chains of command. Another person without... Okay, no, you have desecrates. It looks like you just manually cast it though. If it was elemental, then it would have been beautiful to have it cast on block. But alas, it is not. Petrified blood? This is an expensive build. Oh wait, this is I think I've seen this person's POB. Person made a YouTube video about this. This looks familiar. This looks familiar. Person manually casts your desecrates, if I remember correctly. Another person who leaves desecrates. I think I'm actually just gonna run desecrate manually. I think that's like the most sensible thing to do. Run desecrate manually. Someone's skelly mages? Interesting. I remember last someone skelly mages build I've seen. Oh yeah, we can also use grand spectrums. Because it's like per grand spectrum, so if you get 3 of these, you're then looking at 30%, 90% minion crits multi. Person is a legend. You know what I could do? I could eliminate suffix pressure entirely, like completely, if I were to go supreme ostentation like here, because I'm not pathing here, or here, right? If I put supreme ostentation here, then I have 0 need for attributes. Then I could still convert everything using Sublime Vision, Purity of Lightning. Convert everything to Chaos and Lightning. Then the only suffixes I would then need are Lightning Res and Chaos Res. That's all. I don't need any attributes. And then I can actually, with that in mind, I can then go ham on like, I can go almost full uniques and just get what I need from my rings. Maybe and my boots. I'll probably leave boots open. Yeah, leave boots open. So these two would be my source of lightning and chaos res. That's all I need, right? So I don't need anything else from anybody else. So the suffixes would then be lightning res, chaos res, lightning and chaos res crafted, and then life, move speed, potentially armor. This guy would then have, I already have lightning res being handled too by my aura, so it's mostly chaos res. So this guy would then have chaos res and chaos res and lightning and chaos res most likely, and then attack, cast speed, and then the prefixes. And with the supreme ostentation, I then just use an impossible escape agnostic, pick up minion damage, minion damage, minion damage, maybe minion life or something endurance charge related. I don't like the idea of losing this endurance charge node though. That's like the one thing. That's the one thing with here. Whereas if I do it here, I would lose minion defenses. But then I still have to pain attunement to where I can pick like here, here, here. Can you get to here? Maybe. Here, here. Maybe here. Here. So maybe. Those are the two places that make the most sense. Here, I don't want to risk my flash charges. Here, I could do here. Yeah, this is an option. Yeah, around pain, around minion instability, which would allow me to, if I get around minion instability, I would still path here, so it doesn't matter. Because I was thinking if I get minion instability, what I could do is I could pick these three nodes and move the mastery here and then just drop this entire portion. But I kind of don't, I wouldn't need Eldritch Battery though, because my auras would be Aspect of the Crab, Purity of Lightning, Aspect of the Crab, Purity of Lightning. What else is not considered an aura for the purposes of Sublime Vision? There's something else I'm forgetting right now. Tempest Shield. Tempest Shield. I was forgetting Tempest Shield. So it'd be Tempest Shield, Purity of Lightning. You know what? Let's actually just create these the thingies. So I'm going to remove everything we currently have. Like everything. I'm going to start afresh. AG can stay because nothing is changing there. This can stay too. Everything else can stay. Okay. We have AG and we have our chess piece. First things first, we have trigger here. Then we said we were gonna go Leash of Oblation. Then with Leash of Oblation, we're then gonna put our main hand with triple offering pretty much, and we're obviously going to switch from this to this. So the main hand would then be Spirit Offering, then Flesh Offering, then Bone Offering, then Flesh Offering. While we're mapping, we don't need to worry about corpses for the different offerings, so that is chill. We're already spell block capped, so we can actually drop this entire wheel and instead go for like, because again, we plan on having, these are going to be my auras. My auras will include Purity of Lightning, and these will probably be in boots, by the way. Purity of Lightning, it could be in gloves too. I'll see about it. Purity of Lightning, Tempest Shield. And then aspects. So Leviathan Greaves. This guy, by the way, delete this. I don't know what that is. Non edits. No. Custom. Grants level 30 aspects of the crab. Then we have aspect of the crab, also boots. We still have mana reservation, so I don't think we can go blood and stone, or flesh and stone rather. You wish you dropped 2 mirrors from strong boxes? Yo, same. Two mirrors in my life right now? That'd be awesome. I can imagine what it would feel like dropping 2 mirrors. Oh, that'd be insane. That'd be wild. If I go in auras and then I look through here, I'm probably gonna find something else I can use. Arctic armor. Can I use Arctic armor? Oh, it's not gonna pull up all of these auras I have up here. Yeah, where's Tempest Shield? Oh, so it doesn't. Okay, so I can't use aura because it uses aura tag. Yeah, I can use Arctic armor. Arctic armor kind of solves my fizz issues too. I just need to make sure I'm stationary. I could also use Val Arctic armor for shits and giggles. I could. What else is an aura that's not an aura? We can't use Skitter bots because they aren't animated. We have the aura tag too, so we can't use them. Anything that has aura tag we cannot use. It specifically has to not have tags. What else is something we can use? I'm just going to pile up everything we can run with Sublime Vision. In that note, I think PoE Wiki should have a list of them. I feel like it's... Aura skills, including those granted by blessings or curse, are disabled. Some mind skills, smite, skitterbots, this are also disabled due to having aura gem tag. Skills, so these are the ones. Heralds, aspects. Blood and sand is fine, but I don't care about blood and sand. I don't care about flesh and blood, or petrified blood rather. What is temporal rift? I don't care about that.
Yeah. So yeah, basically, yeah. So that's about it. I don't care about petrified blood. I have no intention of using that. But Tempest Shield, Arctic Armor, these I will use. You know what I could do? I could use petrified blood, to be honest. If I'm genuinely going for 90% block, I just have to make sure I use my Writhing Jar whenever I see my health go down. Or I just use a different life flask for that specifically. The question is, do I want to do that? That sounds like low-key cancer. Like, I shouldn't be getting hits often. But having to remember to use flasks. Because, like, in this build, what do I have to do? Let me think of my buttons. That's what I should think about. My buttons include Flame Dash. I'm not going to have Convocation because Ancient Skull feels like a waste to have Convocation. So Flame Dash. Mark. Potentially Val Arctic Armor. Maybe. Maybe. We don't know. Maybe. We'll probably go Vixen's Entrapment. So we probably have a Curse. Age is gonna put Age is gonna put Elemental Weakness. We are probably going to put like Frostbite. No, not Frostbite, because we no longer have Hatred. Jeez. Not having Hatred is big. Not having Hatred is big. But then again, is it really? Because technically, we're scaling all this Fizz. Yeah, it's big. Even if it gets converted to a random element, Hatred would have been Fizz as extra. So that's just big. We'll have to make up losing Hatred somehow. Yeah, we'll have to do that. Anyways, isn't that about it? Desecrate. So Desecrate, Curse, Mobility, Shield Charge, naturally, because we're not gonna not use Shield Charge. So those are 4 buttons. Am I forgetting anything? And then Writhing Jar, 5. But then Writhing Jar is only at the start. So we would then have to use Writhing Jar at the start if we get to a boss, or we just take general damage to our life. We have to press. I don't like the gameplay loop of that. So no, we're not going to take Petrified Blood. Even though Petrified Blood would have been really good, we're not gonna do it. We are not gonna do that. So I guess one advantage of Petrified Blood is it means odds are Leech is gonna be something big. With Petrified Blood, Leech is always going to be up because odds are not going to be on full life. It might be on like 90% or something, but not full. Leech will always be fully active by the time I take damage. So if I ever drop below 50%, it's keeping me at 50%. But it's not good for eating a large amount of hits, which I guess I shouldn't be too concerned about. It's like Val Arctic Armor. I probably use Val Arctic Armor for like maybe phases on Katarina. The skeleton walking at you phases, I probably just pop Val Arctic Armor there. I'm not going to be using armor for these builds. I'm not going to be using... I wouldn't use armor for this. I wouldn't use Val Molten Shell. So this is the only Val skill I would use. I'll turn that off, please. Okay. Because we're gonna have bone offering, I'm not too worried about my sword survivability anymore. We can leave this behind. I'm thinking of pathing for here though, but we'll see. Am I gonna need Storm Shroud for ailment immunity? What is more important? Blood Notch? Or I could drop, if I drop Blood Notch, then I can just use Pantheon and try to ignore Ignite as much as I can with Aberrath. That's an option that's available to me. If I keep Blood Notch, then Pantheon becomes unavailable and I have to use Storm Shroud for ailment immunity. Otherwise, I am still susceptible. Otherwise, I'm still susceptible to freezes. That's what I'm thinking. Do I have anti-freeze on me? No, I do not. We do also have our ES pool that's now protecting our life instead. So there's that. But we need to worry about minion accuracy. So yeah, I think we path here and do this. I think that is something we do. That kind of fixes our percent life from tree. And now we can start potentially looking at other sources of everything else. I think I will be going Divine Flesh here. The question is, find Timeless Jewel. We're looking for Pain Attunement, Divine Flesh. What nodes are important to me? Increase armor and flat PDR. PDR would be nice. It's probably my weakest. Let's make the weight 11. Life when you block. Chance to block AD. Oh, this is very needed. Put it on like 22. Reading, I don't care. Don't care. Don't care. Out of Chaos. This is like 14. Maybe 11 as well. Out of Lightning is 5. It's nice, but if it isn't there, it's fine. Flesh Worship is also decent, I guess. But it's going to be like a 3. Hierarchy? Not bad. Give it an 8. Can I give something negative weight? I don't want chance to avoid stun. Again, a 3. Suppress, I don't really care. Block spell, I definitely don't care about that. It's funny, I'm typically one who... I'm typically looking for... We're going to put this at 1. Can I put this at 1? Okay, let's do this. Okay, we can do 2. Okay. Okay, so these ones I can just read. Cold res is unnecessary. Lightning res might be. Life would also be 2. Anything here would be 2%. Maybe movement speed can be like 5. In the grand scheme of things. Minion damage as well. Nothing else really. Okay, search. How about I do a 1 node distance? And then, this is just me playing around, by the way. Impossible escape pain attunement. One thing to note, if we are going to be using divine flesh, we can't go supreme ostentation. I'm just now remembering this, so I have to pick my poison. I think I would rather go this one. It relieves a whole lot of pressure from me in the way of being able to drop auras altogether, versus the other one where I have to balance auras and reservation, and then I'm missing reservation on the helmets. No. So let's just say I had the thingy here. Okay, fine. Did I do something dumb? Oh god. I did, didn't I? Yeah, I did. I shouldn't have been doing this. What I should have been doing is, I think, this. So block is going to be a 6 weight. This would be a 5 weight. Chaos res would be a 3 weight. No, 4. Bolt of lightning would be a 1.5 weights. Then we have life rather. What is life? Q. It would be a 0.8 weight. Then we have minion damage is hierarchy. We have a 1 weight there. Then we have regular life again, which is ritual or something. That would be a 0.8 weight again. Then minion. Then there is block. Okay, so it's just regular block. Okay. This would be a 1 weight, maybe 1.2. Let's make it 2 weights. Then small life. This would be 0.5 weights. Then we have movement speed. This would be 1 weight. Then we have minion damage, which is also going to be, well, it's going to be 0.8 weights. Search. This guy over here has, so now if I can filter node and I search, This one has some. It has 1 PDR. It has minion damage. It has movement speed, max life. Maybe I made it too complex. Because in everything we're saying, there's only like one that has. Anyways, let's remove the filter nodes. This one has 3 PDR, 1 Cult of Lightning. It has chance to block AD, which by the way, I'm probably not going to be using that Impossible Escape, but just me testing stuff because I still want to use as many empty jewel sockets for ghastly as I can. Let's do something. Minimum node weights. I'm gonna put it on a 6 or a 5, I should say. Which means it has to have the chance to block somewhere. So this one has Cult of Chaos, it has that, has some extra block. Maybe I should go block. And increase its minimum weight. Would that help? Is there anyone that has multiple of the block? You know what? Let's make this 10. Anything that has more of it will come to the top. Like this one, for example. This one has block. This is pretty good, honestly. If I use that here, Glorious Vanity, pick that up. We have automation studies here. Flash to lightning. Don't care about that. But I do care about this one. So we have, with this, if we get something like this, we cap our attack block, which is all we want from our Divine Flesh, realistically. Then we can switch this from in what it is to that. How did we overcap on this, if I might ask? Because we don't, we don't need that. Oh. With our reservation, we're reserving a good chunk of our mana already, so we might want to do this. With Divine Flesh, we have to do this, to be fair, so there's that. But yeah, this is how we did it. This is the beauty area. Okay, Divine Flesh up and running. Leviathan Greaves. This should be lightning and chaos res. Do we even care about the armor from here? Yeah. We don't care about the armor really anymore because we're not scaling armor for PDR. If I go find timeless jewels and I just remove everything that is not a small node, like, well, I can leave you. Because I'm not going to pick any of these. Life. It can be any of these small nodes, yada yada yada. And then we're looking for pain attunements. And ideally, we filter the thing to be like, let's say 3, 2. What are we gonna find? Let's also deactivate this. Find timeless jewel search. Realistically, I guess this is the closest we can have. So we can have this, which would give me grave intention and deep wisdom. We can have this, which is grave intention, deep wisdom, and then some block. That means we reduce the node distance to 0. We're looking for what I am finding. Like, it has to be those two. And then you can give me the small nodes. I want to see the small nodes. So this one give me movement speed. This gives me a decent chunk of minion damage. Well, only one. I think from this point on, it's just only one of the first one, which is a non-negotiable. It has to be 2. Okay. I mean, it was worth it. It was worth checking. So yeah, we have this and this as our chances, our block cap. And with that, I think we're done. I didn't think it'd be this easy to get block cap on Svalin, but it was. Bone ring, we can remove. We still need dexterity and we still need strength. Yeah. I didn't think this through well enough because I can only have one timeless jewel, so. If I don't convert everything to lightning damage and chaos, then I can just ignore attributes, but I'll still need resistances, including chaos res. Yeah, I think I just have to go rare gloves here. I don't think I have much of a choice. So no frostbite for this build. I have to go rare gloves. But going rare gloves should be pretty chill. I'm also not going to go Leviathan Gauntlets because I don't need that strength requirement. I think I will have some red jewels that would have me go to like 155 strength. Not really, maybe not actually. So just to be safe, let's not even use Leviathan Gauntlets. Let's use
Let's use something that's slightly worse.
What are thwarting gauntlets? I don't know. In any case, we're gonna go for something like something that doesn't require insane strength. So precursor seems fine. We're gonna go max life. We're gonna go minion damage. Honestly, what I want to do here is I want to essence craft minion damage with fractured max life base. So minion deal this increased damage, and I would then just go for anything here. Armor. Just go for T2 armor or something. Then for the suffixes, we can then have chaos res. We can have strength. No. We can naturally roll dex. Ah. That complicates things. Okay. In that case, I guess we just... What do I need the most of right now? Strength. We roll strength. No. Having strength on a piece that needs strength is typically not the best idea. We'll have dex here and then we'll put strength here. So we put dex. We're going to roll, we're going to essence roll dex. Until D1 chaos. Then we reforge lightning and hope we get something decent for lightning res. Or we just slam a suffix and hope for the best. I don't know. Then prefix would be reforge armor, reforge defenses, and then minion damage because I don't care about the defense. Something like this. Now dex is fine-ish. Bone ring has to shift from having dexterity to having strength. Precursor gauntlets have to have Eta Steering Exarch. I don't think there's a single thing here that I care to have. Like a single implicit I care to have. It is not a single one. Like typically I could go for attack speed, I guess. Intimidates, they have that covered. Extinguish on hit. I'm not gonna be hitting often, so be useless most likely. I'm using heralds. Using increased damage, I guess, is good for an exquisite as high as I can. And then for Eta, we'll have to settle for something that's just trash. So, how gonna be the first one? Maybe increase effect. Actually, increase effect of mark is not bad. Increase effect of mark is not bad at all. Because that means we're going to be spawning more minions with our penance mark. I could also go exposure, but I'm not going to be hitting often, so meh. Then Leviathan Gauntlet Greaves would switch to like Titan Greaves maybe. To build. Where's Leviathan Greaves? Copy. I just can't be asked to re-add it. Then life, good life. Move speed. Chaos res. We probably want chance to avoid shock. We probably want chance to avoid shock. And then we have aspect filling up the suffixes. This is fine. Okay, so cool. Strength requirements are a whole lot lower now. Dex needs slightly more, so with our precursor gauntlets, we're gonna go. We're just going to shoot for 1 extra dex there. Okay. Chaos still needs work. We also need to add a Watcher's Eye. The Purity of Lightning, which is fire and cold taken as. And then none. There's nothing else I really care about here. And this should replace this Watcher's Eye. Then all we have to do is revamp this to 20%, 20%. And then we need to add a Sublime Vision. This is the main reason we can't use anything else. Purity of Lightning. And this should replace. Looks like it has to be in here. So we're only taking lightning and chaos damage. Anywhere that has lightning res, we can technically change that to chaos or lightning and chaos, right? So what I should probably be doing You know the ironic thing, now that I'm going lightning res, is a helmet that has max lightning res. This has max cold, this has max fire. Maybe I should do the same thing for ice instead, which is cold, but I think lightning would just be cheaper. Hence why I'm going lightning. And just to confirm, PoE.seal, Sublime Vision, Purity of Lightning. Where the fuck is it? Is this? Yeah, 7 divines. Oh, okay, cool. We could, in theory, still do something like this to try to boost my lightning res, but I'd rather not. Okay. We do need to find a way to cap chaos res. It's a problem that these are the only sources of, like, every source way. Oh. Oh, Bone Ring doesn't have it. Okay. Bone Ring does not have this. So I then switch it to spam this until chaos res and hopefully open suffix, then reforge caster and hope you hit attack cast speed. That'd be how you'd craft this one. So Unetals or replica drag? No, it's not even a question. Also, pricing is no longer a question because I have no 50% auras that I would like to block off. This is technically an option, rather not, but it is. Yeah, Unetals is the one that makes the most sense here. Unetals with chaos res, you know, that is fine. But I don't want to bank on having that chaos res. Instead, I'd rather pull something that has chaos res, like maybe the clusters. Vicious bites is important. Yeah, these are important. If you can have chaos res, I guess. Most likely, the best place to have the chaos res is on a jewel. Because I can't think of anywhere else. You have chaos res here, as well as chaos res here. My boots still have, no, they don't. I was gonna say they still have a suffix slot, but it has chance to avoid shock, aspect, and yada yada. Is there a reason? Like, is there actually a reason to keep chance to avoid shock, or just the whole blood notch tech? I could just drop Blood Notch right now. Drop Blood Notch, potentially Immutable Force. I don't like the idea of it, but I could drop Immutable Force technically. And I would have 2 extra jewel sockets, one of which could go to the blues. It doesn't help that this doesn't give Chaos Res. You don't give Chaos Res, you don't give Chaos Res, nothing gives Chaos Res except the things I'm making to give Chaos Res. That reminds me, Titan Greaves should have implicits. So, Spirit Offering, most likely. We could easily get Chaos Res here though. We could get chance to avoid Shock. And then these boots would just make us ailment immune pretty much. Do we want to do that? Get full ailment immunity from our boots. We don't have to worry about getting it on any jewel sockets. I think I like the idea. Between 90% block, having Blood Notch, and between 90% block, having max res, like 81 lightning res and potentially 81 chaos res. I think I should be at like 80% max chaos res here, just to be safe. No, I don't want to do that. Let's just do this. Let's see what our max is. We're at 80% chaos res. So between having this, having aspects of the crab. Wait, so my phase max hit with aspect of the crab is this low? Even using Grot Calls and Lunaris? Oh, that is woeful. That is actually woeful. Because we don't have access to Watcher's Eye Determination. We don't have access to what are the sources of PDR? Well, I guess endurance charges should be. Yeah, endurance charges. How do we gain endurance charges? Next question. We can spare 2 points for enduring composure because our AG no longer gives endurance charges. What else can we do? They don't even use frenzy charges anymore, I don't think. Yeah, we don't have a source of frenzy charge generation anymore. The source of frenzy charge generation has been removed. We don't have a source of brittle. I think my AG still needs this one to apply curse because I'm using mark. Yeah. So ailment immunity, or do I just drop Blood Notch? I think what I need to do is I need to not underestimate the need for something like this. Picking that up, picking this up. They kind of add up, you know. Plus I can still get Cult of Chaos somewhere. I think I need the PDR from here, otherwise it's a big problem. Not having access to purity of Watcher's Eye Determination is rough. But this would substitute 4%, 3%, which means I may just in fact need the impossible escape. So I can pick this and this. Now, is there a better timeless jewel? This has triple block and max chaos res. I'm interested in this. I don't know about triple block though. I really don't know about triple block. Let's look for this one actually. So let's see what it does. So we have max chaos res, we have block, we have block. So we just save points by going this one because this has max chaos res and then block, block. Let's see. So this one doesn't even exist on trade right now. I don't want to rely on this node, but I do want this, and this to give me 2 blocks and 1 chaos res. Did I just really do that? Nah, it doesn't make sense. Switch back. This one made more sense to go for because we have block, block, and then PDR. We need the PDR. So if we get block, block, chaos, I don't mind getting, this is block, block, then PDR, PDR. I don't mind getting chaos, but I think PDR is worth kind of even more on this build, to be honest. So let's search for this and let's give it a node weight of. Search. Block, block, PDR, PDR. So let's see this. This is PDR, PDR, block, block. PDR, PDR, block, block. It's the exact same thing I had just now, isn't it? Yeah, it's literally 997. Two blocks is like the minimum. No automation, I meant this guy. I'll just pick up 997 now, just to be safe. Just to be safe. Because it's probably what I'm going to plan to build around. Thank you. All right. All this said, wait, what? There you go. Now we can just, these are my max hits. I don't like this max hits, but it's fine. Go straight into his falling, puts me at 88 block chance. My effective hit pool goes all the way up, but my max hits are still abysmal. So like, how do I fix my max hits? This is the question. This is the real question. I guess endurance charges are basically going to be my go-to. I can't drop any health nodes because that is part of the problem. I don't have a decent life pool to work from. Now if I can do this and then pick this up, maybe. What if I did this and this? Nah, doesn't work that way. I kind of really don't want to spend these 3 points here. Like 3 points for 10% chance to block. I don't care about these 2 nodes either. Yo, I guess this does give me 20 life gained on block. So with 10 and 8, 18 life gained on block and 90% block chance, we at least have regen on block. So our need for regen is a lot lower. I'm going to use that as an excuse to say this is fine. Then what we need to do is trim 3 points. We need to increase the effect of offering because we're going 3 offerings. It's a no-brainer. Or it'd be weird to not do that. We're gonna need to do this and switch to this small cluster. So I can then use this and take this. Then my phase max hit is fine. Early max hit is much lower than I would expect, but I assume this is because we're kind of lacking life nodes here. I don't know where I can get life nodes that would be impactful here. I'll be honest. Like, I have this, I have this, I have this, I have this. Is this just because I'm missing here? Like, is that it? Like, I know this is big, but like, Jesus Christ, like, watch this. It is rough. It is very rough. Skip in here. This is unideal because of the low amount of increased life. I don't like this node simply because of that. Also, I probably don't need all the different sources of anti-bleed. So let's just fix this real quick. I came here to decide if I was doing ailment immunity from here. At this rate, like, I don't even have space for the Adorn setup I was going for. Like, I don't get it. Between the Impossible Escape and the Watcher's Eye, the Sublime Visions, the everything, it's like, Jesus Christ. So let's see the things that are non-negotiable. You are non-negotiable. You are very negotiable. Immutable Force. Whatever. We'll just say no to them. Instead, take... I think we need more accuracy, right? Yeah, we definitely need more accuracy. So... One thing I could also do if I decide Adorn isn't for me is I guess I could also just... I could also just go Grand Spectrum. I'm gonna go Spirit Offering Effect here. Spirit Offering Effects, and for Ether Worlds, we are going to go chance to avoid bleeding. Yeah, that makes the most sense. Because we don't want to be... We want to 100% not bleed, right? But anyways, we can go Grand Spectrums with Minion Crit Multi. And at the end of it, we could be getting 90% Minion Crit Multi from the Grand Spectrums. And considering we have 90% crit chance, that'd be like an X5 multiplier. Now, I would rather buff the base damage at this point, but it's an option that's available. What did I just see? Max life. Not bad. Yeah. If I really had to say, I guess this is a setup I'm fine with, kind of. I don't like my max hits though. Now I can say, am I stationary? Yes. Where is the, are you stationary? Am I not using my auras? Yeah, Arctic Armor. There you go. The Arctic Armor when you take no fire damage is kind of weird. I will admit that. It is very weird if you don't take fire damage. It's just reducing from physical ball. My Fizz max hits was a worry, so yeah, we'll just leave it at this. I think this is we're getting to the point where we're probably going to end the stream. Yeah. I think I'm going to clean up this POB. I mean, we're still overcapped on points. We need to figure a lot of stuff out. If to even go adorned at this point. The adorned in question is nothing. It is 100%. Jesus Christ, and is this low? Yeah, it's. I think I might actually just go the Grand Spectrum route and embrace my unique jewels, because if I don't, what is my alternative? I could shut off my. I guess I could shut off my attribute requirements and instead just go ham on resistances using resist tattoos and reducing damage from crits. That's an option that's available to me. Do I want to do this? I don't know. It's a shame though. You can imagine how much damage I'd have been getting from this, like having a really good shield. So we're going for defense. Defense first. I don't know how I'm going to improve my max hits from here, especially elemental. I think the only way I can do that is increasing my life pool, and there's no easy way to do that. There's no easy way to do that. I just kind of have to roll with it. Pretty much. We'll see. In any case, that was a lot of POB. We'll be back tomorrow. We might be playing. We might be POBing some more. We might be playing PoE or playing Deadlock. We'll see. I'll probably play Deadlock off stream and figure out how I feel about it and what I want to do with it. You know, so we'll see how that goes. Anyways, till next time. Have a good night.